how this founder built a tool to scratch his own itch, but it became a SaaS company he's been running for 5 years. You're going to be learning about the amazing SaaS journey of Kilian Valkhof and his SaaS product Polypane. So first off, who is Killian? He's a front-end developer, user experience designer, and generalist. So he's been doing back-end visual design, marketing, and DevOps, and he builds tools for developers, designers, and other people that work on the web to make them more effective, efficient, and to let them have more fun. He lives in the Netherlands and he's been building for over 20 years now. He's worked with plenty of platforms such as IE5, IE6, Flash, and is still very active in the CSS standards communities. And he's witnessed the web become much more complex since he started. Next, let's take a look at this SaaS product. It's called Polypane. It's like using dev tools with cheats enabled. It's a standalone browser and dev tool for ambitious web developers that want to build more responsive, accessible, and performant sites in less time. So you can save hours on each project and love every minute of it. It's used by talented developers from some huge companies here such as Shopify, Google, Zillow, and more. And it has all the tools you need to build, debug, and test sites. In terms of how it generates revenue, it does so on a monthly or yearly basis, targeting individuals, businesses, and enterprise platforms. So they're really going broad here, and they're pricing accordingly depending how big your company is. They also have a free plan for students, which I think is an awesome feature. So how did he come up with the idea for this product? So back in 2015, he ran a web agency, and he had just started using a tool called Sketch that introduced him to the concept of artboards. They're everywhere nowadays, but this was really new back then. And Sketch made it really simple to have a overview of your designs from desktop to mobile. If you've gotten this far in the video, I'm sure you want to build your own micro SaaS, and that's where I have you covered with a complete end-to-end course that's going to show you how to build, scale, and profit from your very own micro SaaS, even if you have no previous SaaS experience. There's a link in the description below, so make sure you check that out. If you're not ready for a full course yet, I also have you covered with free micro SaaS ideas that you can steal for free. There's also a link in the description as well. However, browsers didn't work like that. So everything he would be gaining by using Sketch, where he could quickly compare different sizes and elements amongst screen sizes, all of this was gone when he went to the actual browser. So he figured he should make something that actually did that. At the same time, he wanted to build something new using Electron. So he built something for himself that he would actually use. And he started to use it and he actually enjoyed the product. And even though it was a really early version, and he considered it a crappy version of the product, he realized it was improving his productivity by up to 60%. So in 2017, he released a free public beta of the product. And it got a really good initial response, and eventually the beta list grew to 3,000 people. In 2018, he divested his web agency, and in 2019, he started completely focusing on Polypane to get the product up and running and launched. It took him some time to get everything set up, from subscriptions to support workflow and everything like that. And before he launched, he used a beta mailing list to ask people to test the payment workflow, and he got his first 10 paying users before officially launching the product. And in May of 2019, he did a pretty traditional launch. He launched on Product Hunt. He also did a PR release, and this was picked up by a newspaper in the Netherlands. And at this point, the UI had improved further as a result of all the feedback he got from his beta users. The mistake he realized during those initial stages was requiring a credit card up front. This was just to start that free trial. According to Killian, this works for some industries, but for developers, it didn't work well at all. And this really hampered growth in the beginning, as many devs were actually using fake or empty credit cards just to try it, but never actually converted to paying users. Taking away this barrier a few months later really helped Polypane spread. From there, how is Polypane marketed? So apart from the public beta, where they essentially gave it away for free, he tried almost everything: paid blog posts, search engine ads, display ads, email marketing, content marketing, engineering as marketing, personal outreach to well-known devs, and more, and most of it didn't work. However, content marketing actually worked quite well. To note though, you're going to need a lot of patience for this. As for Killian, most of the traffic comes from articles that were written 2 years ago that are still causing signups today. One thing that worked consistently well is when well-known developers talked about Polypane, as developers are always looking for quality signals, and since every tool says they're going to make you 10 times more productive and you're never going to have mistakes again, developers only really pay attention to what other developers are saying. And the more this happened, the more the reputation built, which was a really good way to increase signups. Killian's best advice to get new customers is to get customers to advocate for you. And although it's easier said than done, You can get that to happen using a combination of a solid product to begin with, being incredibly responsive to your users, and making sure they know you're listening to them. For example, Killian calls out each customer who made a suggestion or a bug report that made it into a final release, showing them that he heard them and took their feedback into account. Thirdly, it's asking them if they want to tell others about your product, incentivizing and encouraging them to share. He frequently goes above and beyond when helping people debug any issues, even making PRs for their site when that makes sense. It's something he enjoys doing, and it also shows people how much he cares. And when you do that, he then goes and asks them for a testimonial or a call out, and that really helps to spread word about the product. In terms of an overall for Killian, it's been consistency, especially for his product as it's in a new category of its own, as it takes time for people to realize what Polypane does and how it can integrate in their existing workflow. So he's consistent in how often he releases, the types of features he builds, and the type of content he makes. And people eventually see that it's a product built by someone who really understands their work and their struggles. So this is going to conclude the video here on Polypane and Killian, an awesome SaaS journey on how they built this product. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it so much if you smash that like and subscribe button below. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I'll also leave a link in the description below to the source article for this video. It was done by a site called Zero to SaaS. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.